I want to give you a chance now to hear from the candidates that are here tonight. Chad Steenhoek is a small business owner who's worked hard to provide for his family. He's very concerned with the state of government spending, and he's looking for a change. The Steenhooks have been members of Bridgeway Church for 8 years. He's also a member of Practical Farmers of Iowa and Iowa's Organics Association. His business, Steenhoek Environmental, recycles yard and agricultural waste and makes a value-added product, hummus compost. Chad graduated from Ames High in 1992, attended Waldorf College in Forest City, and then Iowa State before starting his own business in 2000. Chad and his wife Wendy have been married for 14 years and reside northwest of Ames on their farm with their 3 children, Cole, Jake, and Anna. Chad is running for Iowa House District 46, and I'm very happy to present Chad Steenhoek.
Well, thanks so much, Jen. I'm just wondering out there, who's a political junkie? Show of hands, a hag, somebody who loves the whole. Now, for those of you who didn't raise your hands, are you being honest about that? I mean, you're here on a Friday night at a fundraiser for 3 candidates. I think we need to be honest with ourselves and understand that, we're all engaged, aren't we? We're here, we're listening, we're trying to do what we can. And I'm not going to bore you with the things that are wrong, in the state and all the exciting ways we can change them. There's a lot of things we can do. We can cut taxes and reduce spending and reduce the size of government. And you guys have heard those speeches 100 times, I'm sure. I think I've given them 100 times. So what I wanted to talk to you tonight about was winning campaigns and the future of Iowa. A little bit about myself. I grew up outside Pella on a farm, and the 80s caught up with my family farm, and farm crisis did. And in '85 we moved to Ames, and that was a rough time in my life. What's God's plan for me? What am I going to do? And it was uncertain, and I kind of feel the same way about the state right now. What's God's plan for Iowa? What are we going to do? And even through that hard time, I realized that in the future I'll be able to look back, when I get older and say, oh, okay, I see what God's plan was. One of those was I met my wife there in Ames. Of course, that wouldn't have happened in Pella. I got to play football. Christian didn't have football back then, I played high school and college football, and those are little things, but those are big things in my life. But right now, I'm looking at why did God move me up there, and why did God lead me on the path I'm on? And I realized it's so I can remove a liberal politician with no job experience and replace her with a conservative leader who knows how to run a small business. That's why I'm there now. Yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about winning campaigns and the future of Iowa. And I was putting this speech together today while I was raking hay and a lot of free time on my hands besides keeping the tractor going straight. And I realized that winning campaigns and the future of Iowa are related, aren't they? Mm-hmm. We can't do a single thing unless we win the campaign. There's no one thing that is exciting in our midst, whether it's getting rid of the judicial law of same-sex marriage or whether it's getting rid of the overspending in the state level. None of those are possible unless people like Kent and I win that election. Well, so now let's talk about winning the campaign. Winning a campaign turns out it's very simple. I went to the Iowa Family Policy Center training, and we had an individual come up from Georgia. I think he said his company ran 1,000 campaigns last cycle. Chuck Hurley and Tom Steen, felt very confident in his advice. And this is kind of a summation, but he walks into that room and he says, if you're not willing to raise money, get out. I know what you're thinking. It's about fundraising. And I thought, oh my goodness. I wasn't planning on raising a lot of money. I was under the assumption that I could do this on the cheap, I run my own business. On the cheap's kind of my operating standard. And then I was kind of shocked, and some of the people in the room were like, yeah, but ideas. He's like, nope. Well, yeah, but if you just talk to enough people door knocking, no. Yeah, no, he says. You don't win without money. I run thousands of campaigns, and unless you get to 80 to 100% of what your candidate has, you have no chance. And you're wasting everybody's time, and don't stand up here and talk to us about being a conservative leader unless you're willing to raise the money. And I thought, okay, here we go. I guess I'm raising money because I'm not just talking. And you know what else? I realized that if he's right, and if you search your hearts, you'll find that he is right, even though we don't want it to be true. If he's right, I can't ask $1 from one person, can I? Because I'm not committed to making sure that dollar gets what that person wants. Some conservative leadership down there. I can't ask money from my parents, from my mom, from my step-parents, or my mother and father-in-law. You know, the ones I love so much. And, you know, I can't ask money from my relatives, or my cousins, and my brother, and my sister. How can I ask for their money if I don't take to heart his advice that you have to raise money? And I know what you're thinking. You don't want it to be true. I didn't want it to be true. But think about it. Why do conservatives always lose? Well, because they're probably just like me and they don't want to ask for the money. They feel, you know, I give my money to church and my community. I'm not about to hand it over to a politician. And I had a hard time, you know, swallowing that. But I hope you guys will understand that it does take the money. It takes a lot of it, unfortunately. It's a noble goal to not have it be about money, but it just happens to not be the reality we live in. The other side knows this. That's why they raise so stinking much money. That's why when somebody in a state house race gets behind on their side, a check from some SEIU or Acorn or Union PAC comes in, they know it's about money. And if we want to be serious about doing this change, and if we want to be serious about the future of Iowa and what it's going to look like for our kids and our grandkids, we have to be serious about the fact this is going to take some money. And I would just like to have your support tonight. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to come out and talk to you and get on my knees and beg for some money. So thank you so much.